What's going on, guys? It's Mike Ferrante back at you with a new video. Today, we're going to dive into AI agents versus traditional teams and talk about how I believe that AI agents will replace traditional teams as they are today. I think that companies in the future will employ millions, if not billions, of AI agents across various aspects of their business. And these agents will be used to repeat tasks that traditional teams and traditional employees do nowadays. So my theory is that 99.9% of people are going to be out of a job within the next 10 to 15 years. And I know that sounds scary, and I know if you're not involved in this space, you may be thinking, holy shit, I need to develop skills, or you may be thinking, holy shit, like you're full of shit. And I'm here to show you why that's true, and I'm here to basically give you a wake-up call and tell you if you want to succeed in the future in the economies of the world, whichever country you're in, you're going to need to adapt skills that cannot be replaced by AI. And my aim in this video is that by the end of it, you'll have a roadmap and a track to go on to be able to develop these skills. So the question is, can agents replace entire teams? And it's a tough question, and there's a lot of different factors to it, but my conclusion is yes, but it hasn't fully been done yet. So there are companies that are putting out AI agents to do specific tasks, but there is not one company that has fully deployed AI agents in every avenue of their business, which would mean a fully autonomous business with one owner and a bunch of AI agents. That has not been done yet. There have been companies that have done it somewhat and somewhat effectively. You know, big companies are doing this. They want to be as efficient and cost effective as possible. So they're attempting to do this in different areas. I would say the most common area is customer support. It's very easy to automate that. It's simple flows, simple keyword and pattern recognition, and companies have already started to do that, but it still has not been fully implemented and done yet, which means there is a huge opportunity to make real money in today's economy if you know how to do this. And just like I said before, my aim with this video is to give you the skills and give you the knowledge to actually go out and build one of these things and make money for yourself, for your family, and just to be free and happy. So a case study that we can look at that kind of has to do with AI agents, but kind of doesn't, but is in this sort of space and is relevant, is Scale AI. So the founder was 19 years old when he started this. He's now 27, so it's been 8 years of him building the company. The company has a $14 billion valuation. And what they do is they create data training systems so that models are more fine-tuned with the data that's inputted into them, and they're able to learn, adapt, and really grow more quickly. And this is a very, very relevant example to AI agents, because agents need data. It's simple as that. You can have the fanciest AI agent, but without good, high-quality data that it can A, use, and B, learn off of to use better in the future, it's going to be nothing. So the fact that there's companies out there that are already addressing this issue for the last 8 years shows that maybe this is a big opportunity, and maybe instead of focusing on all of these other things that really won't bring you sustainable income in the future, you should be focusing on agents and automation. So Scale is a great example of this, and their $14 billion valuation shows that. So there was a quote that I thought really resonates with the whole digital age, the automation age, the AI age, and it's from Thich Nhat Hanh. So I'm sorry if I butchered that. It wasn't my intention. The quote is, "People have a hard time letting go of their suffering out of fear of the unknown. They prefer suffering that is familiar." So it's basically saying that people don't like diving into something that's unknown. They like to do things that they're used to. That's why certain actions, certain behaviors, certain ideas just get passed down from generation to generation until that one person who is risk seeking and ambitious and driven actually changes it and changes the course of their life, their family's lives, and their friends around them, their lives as well. So I think this quote really resonates with the AI era. And I showed an arrow pointing to the traditional employee model, and that's what is familiar to us and familiar to all these companies. Think about a 70-year-old business owner in Kansas. He has never touched a computer in his life. And I know that might be an exaggeration, but there are people like that out there who, even if AI will make them 100x what they're currently making, they will not take the risk because it is unfamiliar and unknown to them. So they will stick with the familiar, which is just getting by, barely paying the bills, and running a business that is destined to fail in a couple of years. So I really think we got to break out of this mindset of being comfortable and dealing with stuff that's familiar and really dive into the world of AI and automation, because that is the future. So what is the unknown? AI agents are the unknown. The word AI agent is used very loosely, and it could sound like something scary, like a robot, some sort of prototype, but it really isn't that complicated and that scary. If I were to break down in simple terms what an AI agent is, it is an agent that can autonomously run workflows and tasks for you, and its main purpose is to create predictability, scalability, and a sort of structure for your business to run and operate without you having to hold a hand. So with an employee, and I'm going to get more into this deeper and later, employees need their hand held a lot of the time. You have to onboard them, you have to train them, you have to pay them a salary. A lot of employees have external locuses of control, so they're going to expect you to tell them every single thing to do. And on top of that, they can't work 24/7. But when we look at an AI agent, they can run tasks autonomously. They can work 24/7. They don't need you to hold their hands. They need a simple prompt, a simple flow, and some memory. And off of that, they can improve upon themselves infinitely. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I really want you to think deeply about this. Which is better for solopreneurs? The blue pill, which is the familiar, the known, the common, the just getting by and paying your bills, the somewhat successful business but is capped at a certain level, or the red pill. This is the unknown. This is the huge potential. This is the scalable solution that'll feed generations 10 times over, 100 times over, 1,000 times over. This is what AI agents are. And my hope in putting out this content isn't for me to make any money. I do this because I simply love talking about this stuff. I'm truly passionate about this. I want you, the kid sitting behind the camera, to really internalize this and understand that you may be 15 years old, 16 years old, you may be 80 years old. There's an opportunity for you to get in, make money, change the course of your life, and live a happy life doing something that you love. So first off, I want to go over some typical problems for solopreneurs. So there's three main ones, and I'm going to go through each one by one. So the first problem is burnout. So with solopreneurs having to wear all the hats in their business, burnout becomes a very real thing very quickly. You can really imagine. I'm sure a lot of people watching this are solopreneurs, but if you're not, you have to deal with marketing. You have to deal with customer service. You have to deal with sales. You have to deal with automation. You have to deal with development on top of 10 other things. So when you're wearing all the different hats, it's very, very easy to burn out. And I know a lot of personal stories of people burning out because of this. Second is scalability. One-man teams are hard to scale, and it's really simple as that. If you have an 100-person team, you're going to have an easier time scaling. If you have a one-person team with 1 million AI agents, you're going to have an easier time scaling. But when you're a one-person team with no automation and not really any knowledge of automation, it's going to be very hard for you to scale quick, efficiently, and effectively. And the third and final problem is marketing. I notice with a lot of solopreneurs, they are very good at development. They can code up really fast, make cool features, cool UI, cool UX, but when it gets to the marketing, they are completely lost. They have no idea what to do, no idea where to put their app, where to market it, where to use good sales language and all of that. And when you think about a product, it doesn't matter how good your product is if nobody knows about it. If you're yelling from under the bleachers and there's no one within a 1 mile radius, nobody will buy your product. And it's simple as that. So the question is, how can we solve these issues for solopreneurs? There's burnout problems, there's scalability problems, and there's marketing problems. And a lot of solopreneurs have these problems and still are doing 100,000 monthly recurring revenue, 200,000, 300,000, even 500,000, which is crazy, but it shows that this is a niche that is very, very, very high leverage. And if you do it right, even if you do it wrong to an extent, you can still make an egregious amount of money. So how can we solve these issues? AI agents. It's really simple as that, and I know I've went really deep into this already, and we're going to keep getting deeper and deeper, but the agents are the solution. We have burnout issues. Delegate admin tasks to agents. We have scalability issues. Deploy 10 agents. Even if that's at the beginning, deploy 10 agents to do different tasks for you that you're spending your time on. Let you as the business owner focus on the core value proposition that you're offering. And when you focus on the core value proposition and stop focusing on this other stuff, that's when the 10x, 100x growth actually comes out. And that's when you create a game-changing, life-changing product. And the third is marketing. And although you may be thinking, how can an agent do marketing? It's a lot easier than you think. There are tools nowadays in which we can schedule posts, create posts, deploy posts, all in the click of a button. We could even hire UGC AI creators to film videos for us. You don't have to do any marketing really. All you have to do is really be a manager who clicks approve to the workflow, pushes it out to X, clicks approve to the workflow, pushes it out to Facebook. And it's really as simple as that. So, what is an AI agent? So, I actually made a video about this and it did pretty well. You guys seem to like it. So, this was kind of my flow for what an AI agent is. I'm going to pull up the board right now. It's loading. Okay, so my whole idea of this video was that billion-dollar companies will be run with one founder and 0 employees. When I said 0 employees, I meant 0 human employees. I would still consider an AI agent an employee, but they're not making a salary. So you're basically getting employee level output for the price of peanuts. So just a little high level overview, because I have a video on this. The link will be in the description so you can check it out. It really does do a good job of explaining this whole flow. But say we have a business like the typical solopreneur does, where we want to build a product that solves a problem. A lot of times, say we're going to scratch our own itch. Say we're having an issue with Stripe and we want to create some sort of service that lets us know what our revenue's at, creates certain revenue targets for us, and really comes up with a detailed report connecting to Stripe that lets you know how much money you need to be making to stay profitable and how much money you need to be making to be at certain profit margins. So we need to come up with an idea, obviously. I know that was a high level idea, but when we come up with an idea, we really want to go deep into what is the market like? What are the pain points? Who are our competitors? Who is our target customer persona? And how are we going to create messaging for that person so that they will convert? And this isn't only messaging in your ads, this is messaging on your sales pages as well. So we come up with an idea, then we have to plan. So we need to create our documents, add them to the drive, approve them, all of that stuff. And right now, solopreneurs are doing all of this stuff themselves. I guarantee you 99% of solopreneurs are doing this themselves, which is concerning, but it highlights an opportunity. Then there's design. We need to design the structure of our app. When the customer gets to the landing page, what is the flow that they're going to take that takes them from landing page to sales page? They're going to have to click sign in, create an account, go to the dashboard, onboard, whatever. Then we need to actually develop the apps. We need to come up with an app flow. We need to do our front end, our back end, and just test. So hypothetically, we can do this with 4 agents, which I wouldn't recommend, because the more tasks you delegate to a specific agent, the less accuracy they're going to have with these tasks. And you don't want to overload these agents with a bunch of different things, because then their memory is going to get clogged, and I guarantee you they will make mistakes. They are not perfect. It is up to you to prompt them correctly and feed them tasks that they will be good at. So right here, that's 4 agents. And then once the product is launched, we're going to need a sales agent, a marketing agent, a customer support agent, among more. This is a very high level, not detailed flow, but you kind of see the idea of what an AI agent is. So there's 7 of them. Each of them have their own specific tasks to do, and they come together to create a product. So think about if you ran a business. You run Joe's Pizza, which is a physical business, so it's not as good as an example, but you run Joe's Pizza. You're not very technical, you're not very good with computers, and you still want a website though, so that customers could go, they could see your menu, they could see your seasonal dishes, all of that stuff. You can have an agent that takes in all customer support on your website. You can have an agent that actually builds your website and that changes it based off seasonality. And you could have an agent that emails potential customers with coupons, with vouchers, getting them to come in and actually spend money at Joe's Pizzeria. So even with an example that's as stupid and probably an example of a company that doesn't really need agents, you could still find a use for them, and you could still package that up into some sort of attractive offer and sell it to businesses. So I'm going to go back to the presentation, because I feel like I kind of outlined what an AI agent is and what it does. And now I want to talk about how focus leads to success. So the best way to put this is, as a solopreneur and as a developer, we don't have the time to focus on all the hats of our business. And you may think you do because that's what you've been doing for years, and maybe you have found a little success. But I urge you and I beg you to please stop, because when we put all of our eggs into different baskets, a little here, a little here, a little there, and we have 5 different baskets, there's no true focus. So we're going to get 1/5 of the way there in every direction, rather than focusing strictly on our app development and going 1, 1, 1. If we go the other way, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, and we're never going to achieve success. This is why you must delegate these admin tasks to AI agents. So I would say that the 3 most important things for solopreneurs to focus on is product development, speed, and marketing. Speed is the one I really want to get into, because a lot of people don't understand this and just don't live by this, which kills me. I see a lot of people on Twitter, on YouTube, posting that they developed a product for 3 months. And I wish them nothing but success. I hope that every product you launch does $1 billion in monthly revenue and you become the prince of wherever you live. The reality is your product probably sucks, and you probably wasted 3 months of bullshit that you could have done in 1 week, tested, saw if you got traction, and then moved on to something else. The big issue that people make is they try to put all of the features into the MVP, which is the biggest mistake you can make. The number 1 biggest mistake you can make as a solopreneur. Number 1, there is nothing bigger than this, because our biggest enemy is time, and it's finite. Nobody lives forever. I could drop dead tomorrow for all we know. We have no idea. So we have to maximize our time. And maximizing our time is launching quickly, launching lean, and launching MVPs that focus on the core value proposition and the core problem you're trying to solve, and doesn't get drawn out into different areas that are nice to haves but not essential for the project. So these three things I can justify solopreneurs focusing on, but if I were to pick one to say that they need to focus on most, it's going to be product development paired with speed. Marketing can be automated. It's very hard now to automate product development. Now, there are tools like Cursor AI, which make it easier to code, but there's nothing as of right now that we can use to prompt and say, create me a product that has XYZ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 features and deploy it. That's not going to happen. That's not going to be for a few years. We don't want to be focusing on admin/repetitive tasks. I feel like I've made this very clear, but I just want to hammer it home again because we don't want to focus on this. This can be automated, and if you do have to pay some money for this, I'm telling you it is worth it, because if we pay a little money to automate the admin and repetitive tasks and our speed to launch goes down from 3 weeks to 1 week on average, think about it. We're 3xing our output, and maybe we're paying a little, but that gives us 3 times as high of a chance to actually hit big on a product. And I guarantee you, if you hit big on a product, it is going to pay for the admin and repetitive cost 100 times over. So, how can I automate these tasks? You guessed it, AI agents. They can automate all of these busy work, stupid tasks very easily, and let me let you in on a little secret, more effectively than humans can. More effectively than humans can. And I can prove that to you, and I will prove that to you. So, I'm going to prove that to you here. Let's compare a customer support team versus a customer support agent. So we'll start with the team. So I labeled it as employee because this is one individual employee built, taken from the team, and this is one specific agent that is literally the whole team. Employee, we have to train them. There's training costs involved. There's time involved with that too, because there's onboarding. They may be confused with something, so there's no predictable flow of onboarding even. Some employees could be onboarded in a day. Some employees might take a month to 2 to be onboarded. So that's a energy, time, and monetary sacrifice that we don't want. Then there's a salary. You're not going to find an employee nowadays full-time for under $40,000 a year. The cost of living has gotten so high in the United States that it is not worth it for an employee to work for some sort of company like this for under $40,000, and you're already out $40,000 if you want a customer support employee. So $40,000 plus the training cost, plus the time it takes to train and onboard, plus the energy it takes to train and onboard. Then there's human error. Humans make mistakes all the time. And I'm not saying that chat models and agents don't make mistakes, but chat models and agents make mistakes far more less, like a lot less, let's say. I'm sorry for stumbling on my words, but far less than humans do. And also, agents are able to learn from themselves. So humans can learn too, but agents have it coded into their software. So there really is a lot of human error there with employees. Plus there's emotion. An employee could come into work and have a shitty mood, and I guarantee you his output is not going to be the same as if he has a happy mood. When we look at agents, that's not the case. So what does a team of traditional employees equal? Time and money wasted. And this is not to say that a team of employees that is doing customer support cannot be beneficial to you, but when you compare it to the agent flow and how agents work with the energy sacrifice, the time sacrifice, the monetary sacrifice, it's not even comparable. So now we're going to move in to the agent flow. So with the agents, it's a simple flow. There's no big training costs, no big energy. You give it a task, a set of tasks, a flow, and based off that flow, the agent is going to perform. So it may have confusion and mess up at the beginning, but that's the beginning is really for you to refine the model so that down the line it doesn't mess up. And there's built-in learning too. So every time it messes up, it gets stored in a little database and you tell it, you messed up because you did X, Y, or Z, updated the memory. You messed up because you did X, Y, or Z, updated the memory. You did good, I want you to continue doing that, updated the memory. So you kind of see how this goes, and these agents are able to learn from mistakes while simultaneously growing and just maximizing the ROI for your business. There's no salary with an agent. Most of the time, if you're linked to an external API like OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepSeek, there's going to be a cost per API call, and they're going to do that in terms of 1 million tokens, and those costs really aren't that big. You will never get to $40,000 a year with those costs, unless you're doing some sort of crazy workflow, which it would be worth it to spend that much. But in terms of basic customer support, which would just be flagging stuff as high priority, mid priority, or low priority, providing basic chat queries to customers, and doing other specific admin stuff, it really would not be a high cost. And I guarantee you the cost, whatever cost it would be justified by your return. There's no human error with agents, although there could be some error. Like I said before, they learn from each other in a much more efficient way than humans do, so that's not really a factor. And they're more fact-based. They don't ever act off emotion. There's no emotion even built into them. You can ask a model how they're feeling today, and they'll tell you they have no emotion. So this is good for us because we don't want our employees coming into work in a shitty mood, fucking up our productivity, fucking up our return on investment, and minimizing whatever our return is. Because me as a business owner, I want the maximum return. I don't care how you're feeling. I want to maximize the amount of money that comes into my pocket. So what is the result of an agent that handles customer support? A lot of money, a lot of efficiency, and scalability. I think scalability might be the most important thing there because we can make $10 a day consistently, and although that's consistent profit and it's good, if it's not scalable, we have a cap at $10, and nobody wants to only make $10 a day. So scalability is very important because it ensures us that we have systems and processes in place that could handle a much higher volume of requests. And if we're making $10 for every $1 spent, we can pretty much reasonably estimate that with the same system, for every $1,000 we spend, it's going to be $100. So I hope you're following, and I hope you can kind of see where these agents come into play and why they're so valuable and why they're so important. So I haven't even talked about the best part yet. And you're probably thinking, Mike, you just rambled on for 30 minutes. Of course you told us the best part. I haven't. So let's talk about agents a tiny bit more. So agents don't have family issues. Their mother didn't die the other day. Their aunt isn't sick. Their uncle didn't screw them over with something. They don't take sick days. There's never going to be a day where your model sends you a message and says, hey, Mike, I'm actually sick today. I have the flu. I'm not going to be able to come into work. That's never going to happen. And most importantly, they work 24/7, 365. So I'm going to say the two are equivalent, which they really aren't for this example, but say we put it like this. The average day for an employee is 8 hours. That's the typical 9 to 5 grind, the rat race, as I like to call it. And say an agent works 24 hours. When you're looking at it from face value, the agent is going to work 3 times as hard and as much as the employee. Every single day, so there's no weekends off. And look at it this way. There's no distraction. There's no TikTok. There's no Instagram Reels. There's no YouTube Shorts. There's no instant gratification, instant dopamine built into these systems. They are strictly going to perform tasks that we give them and do it over and over and over again until we are satisfied and we tell it to stop. I think that this point is so important and it's not talked about enough that a lot of people say like, oh yeah, but agents can't really work 24/7 or they're not as efficient. I guarantee you they are so much more efficient for the simple fact of no distractions. I actually read something the other day that said that each time you pick up your phone when you're doing work, it sets you back 30 minutes. So think about it that way. I guarantee you employees, even at the biggest corporations, are still scrolling, they're checking their text, all of that stuff. Agents don't have these family issues, don't have sick days, they don't have families at all, they don't have emotions. They work, 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 work to make me money and to make me happy. And that's what I love the most about agents, and that's what you should love the most about agents. Because you could create a very simple flow, package it up, and sell it in a niche that doesn't currently have AI agents servicing it and has a lot of older people running these businesses, and you can make millions, literally millions, for something as simple as automating a process that these people spend hours a week on. So, a big question you may be asking is, can agents really replace humans in critical areas? And what happens when things go wrong? So I didn't really discuss that at all. What happens when an agent goes off the beaten path and does something that you don't want or leaks some sort of sensitive data? And I would say the answer to that is control. So control is the magic word when it comes to all of this. I would argue that we have more control over agents than we do over employees. Employees have ulterior motives. Employees want to do what's best for themselves in a lot of cases, because at the end of the day, it is in our human nature to help ourselves out. Now, there are people that love to help others, and I think that's a very great thing. But let's look at this realistically. Most people want to help themselves and care about themselves 99% of the time, and the other 1% is because either someone's watching or it's a family member and they have to. I don't think there's a big issue with agents leaking critical data. I think if you're stupid and you don't prompt it well, that's possible. But if you prompt the agent well, you give it a specific task or set of tasks to do, it will perform your task and it won't get out of line and act up. And I think control comes into this, and it's very, very critical, because these agents, like I said before, on top of all the other things, do not have ulterior motives. They don't have any of this additional BS that humans have, which means we can control them more. We can get them to focus on what's really important. So that's where I present to you the $1 billion solution. So in my eyes, this is the future of automation. This is the future of business. This is the future of the world. And it's where we have a manager, which for the sake of the example, that'll be me. So Mike Ferrante, he's the manager of Ferrante Digital. And I run a big company. It's a software company. And we provide automation services to, let's say, nail salons. So I don't have very nice nails, but that's why I started doing it. I needed the discount, I needed the voucher, and for the sake of this example, that's the business we're dealing with. So I have 1,000 nail salons that I manage. I automate a lot of their processes, and most importantly, I get that voucher every month so I can get my favorite blue nails, whatever. I need different teams to actually carry out these tasks. So first off, I need a marketing team. I need a way to reach out to these nail salons to let them know, A, how I can provide value, B, what my product is, and C, I could show them other companies I've worked with and testimonials that'll push them over the edge and encourage them to want to work with me. So I need a marketing flow. So I'm connected to the marketing flow. It is a series of tasks that I set up beforehand, and all I'm doing is acting as a manager. When the AI is done with a singular task, it'll report back to me and it'll tell me, hey Mike, we found this for a new email script you can use. I say done, moves on to the next step. And as it goes on and on and on, I just developed a full marketing plan with a series of flows and a series of simple prompts that are really not that hard to create. Now I need a support agent. I need a agent that handles the queries and the concerns of my current nail salons that I have. So say one of them says, hey, I can't integrate with this specific API for automation. I'm old. I don't really know technology. Done. Goes into the agent. He has a bank of things and knowledge that he knows from past tickets and from the training that I gave him, and he's able to easily give that customer a step-by-step flow and a step-by-step set of instructions on how to actually solve the issue. So that's the second branch. Then there's development. So as a manager, I have to develop the front end and back end platform so that these salon owners would have a sort of dashboard and a sort of central location with all of their information and all of their flows so that they can see them and they can request edits to them in real time. So I need to develop an app, simple front end interface, simple back end interface to host my whole app. And as much as that's going to be hard to do at the current moment with the current tools we have, I'm viewing this from a 10, 15 year perspective down the line. And the fact that this is the one objection and this is the one thing that may not get there immediately, it's just silly to me because the others can be done today, right now. And then lastly, we need the simple admin tasks to be automated. So the repetitive tasks of, creating Google Sheets, creating Google Docs, creating content for my business, all of that stuff can be automated with another agent. So I just showed you how one manager can manage 4 different branches of a business. And obviously the flow would go deeper there wouldn't just be 4 agents because, like I said before, that'll lead to overload and probably lead to mistakes or give our whole system a higher chance of error. And as the manager, I don't want that. I want the lowest chance of error possible. So maybe under marketing, we'd have a content research agent, a content creation agent, a B2B outreach agent, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe 5 sub agents for each one, which would be 24 agents total plus myself. And I believe that you can run a $1 billion corporation with that. I don't see why not. And I really think it's the future. So just some final thoughts. The question isn't AI or teams. I was never posing it as it's one or the other. It's either you have all AI or you have all human teams, because it's not that. The real question is, how can we use AI to create autonomous teams? So maybe your business will still have to have a few employees, because at the end of the day, humans will still be able to think in some sort of ways that these AI machines will not be able to think in. And maybe I'm wrong on that, and I hope I'm wrong on that. But my philosophy as a human, maybe I'm being biased, is that we can sometimes think in better ways, and sometimes these models could be very stupid, and we still need some sort of human management and human checkup within these systems. So I don't think that it's full AI or full teams. I think it's how can we create a hybrid approach that maximizes our output on both sort of realms. The future is now, and it's really up to you to decide what you want to do for your future. So you can take the blue pill. It doesn't affect me. I'm gonna make my money. I'm gonna create these agents. I'm gonna sell them to companies that are in need and are desperate, and I'm gonna take advantage of it. But you, as someone watching this video, as someone that's taking time out of your day to listen to me speak, can either take the blue pill. You can stick with the familiar. You can continue using these outdated tools that are never going to bring you anywhere. You can continue making a low income and maybe you're happy with that. And I'm not one to judge. I don't really care. I'm just here to try to guide you and help you. Or you can take the red pill. You can step into the unknown, step into the discomfort, and start learning and making money now. And if there's one thing you could take out of this video, it's that I really urge you to take the red pill. And I don't really think that there was anything that I said in this whole spiel that would prompt you to take the blue pill unless you're lazy. So I want to thank you so much for hearing me yap for 40 minutes. I really do appreciate it. I love every last one of you guys. And yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know If there was a specific area that was maybe confusing, because I can make a follow-up video on that. If there was an area you found interesting, if there's just a general comment you want to make, maybe share your own insight, I would love to hear it. And I'll be trying to, I will reply to every comment on this video. So once again, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Mike Ferrante SaaS on YouTube. Big things coming in terms of AI agents, automation, and the whole 9 yards. And thank you. Have a great day. Take the red pill.